Good morning. You are listening to UpReach, a morning devotional presented by the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee, to encourage you as you face the opportunities and challenges of today. Let's begin this day together with some inspiring thoughts from God's holy word. Bondservants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh, not with eye service as men-pleasers, but in sincerity of heart, fearing God. And whatever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not to men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the reward of the inheritance, for you serve the Lord Christ. Colossians chapter 3, verses 22 through 24. The Bible is very clear that the purpose for our work life is to reflect Christ in and through our lives. It is an attitude that says our work is to have an overriding ministry objective to it. Our work is our worship to God. These two words even originate from the same Hebrew word, avodah. Robert Laidlaw was born in Scotland in 1885, but grew up in New Zealand. Born to religious-minded parents, he committed his life fully to the Lord when he was 17 years old. Laidlaw began working in a hardware merchant company as a traveling sales representative when he was 19. Later, he had an idea for a mail-order catalog business that sold everything imaginable, including everything from groceries to cosmetics to farm equipment, all at bargain basement prices. His concept proved successful, and his business later merged with the Farmers Union Trading Company. He became general manager and held that position for 50 years. But this is not the most significant thing that can be said about Robert Laidlaw. He understood that his work life was a tool to affect others for Jesus Christ. He began giving 10% of his income early in his business life. Later, however, he entered this into his journal. Quote, September 1919, age 25, I have decided to change my earlier graduated scale and start now giving half, 50% of all my earnings, end quote. This he continued for the next 60 years. The result of his commitment was countless numbers affected for good for the sake of Jesus Christ through the resources he gave to mission groups and other worthy religious causes. He was personally involved in ministry. He wrote a small book that gave a thoughtful answer to basic questions about life and faith. It was entitled The Reason Why. Many hundreds of thousands came to a point in which they began to seek Christ in their own life because of this little 46-page booklet. He publicly spoke to many people of his convictions and became very involved in the Soldiers and Airmen's Association when World War II broke out. Robert Laidlaw understood what it meant to view business with an overriding ministry objective. What about you today? Does the Lord have complete control of your life? If so, you will be able to see your work life as an extension of His life in you. So why not let the Lord live in and through your work life today? This has been UpReach, a presentation of the Church Street Church of Christ in Lewisburg, Tennessee. I am Kyle Bolton, the pulpit minister at Church Street, and I would like to personally invite you to come and share times of Bible study and worship with us each week. We meet every Sunday at 9 o'clock a.m. for our morning worship, followed by our Sunday school for all ages at 10:15 a.m. Then we meet again at 6 o'clock p.m. for our evening worship. We also have a midweek meeting for devotion and Bible study on Wednesdays at 6:30 p.m. I hope to see you there. Have a blessed day.
One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek. One thing I ask of the Lord, this is what I seek.
May I dwell in the house of the Lord. May I dwell in the house of the Lord,
to seek Him in His temple, to gaze upon His beauty. One thing I ask